Moses Atoma doing Moses Atoma things. We've all been knowing for a long time that this guy is talented, right? No one didn't know he was talented, but there's been people on the fence. Is he the real deal? I went early. There's many comments saying, you're hyping him up too much, yada, yada, yada. The guy is special, man. If you look at Tyson Fury at the same age, if you look at Anthony Joshua at the same age, no disrespect, right? They've had great careers. I'm using them as an example for a reason. They've been great. He is better than they were at that age. He is absolutely better than they were. And what's scary is he might be able to go in there right now with Alexander Usyk in his early 20s and give him a serious fucking problem. But before we get into that, I've got to give a big shout out to today's sponsor. Let me tell you about the most important app of this generation, because if you haven't got it yet, you absolutely need it. This is non-negotiable, lads, because for generations, men like me and you, we were able to view the female form online without persecution, without being made to feel like some sort of degenerate, being forced to scan our faces and enter our details as if we're doing something wrong. But in the UK, that is the new reality. That's the new normal. Well, not under my roof, it's not. And that is thanks to Surfshark. You see, I put my faith in Surfshark because it's a life-changing experience, this. And the best bit about it is its simplicity. You click on Surfshark on your phone, on your computer, on your app, whatever. Click I'm in America, 2 clicks, and boom. All of this nonsense that we're living with is removed, and I can be free to enjoy myself again without having to go through this nonsense. I'm a grown man, for God's sakes. And I can also enjoy football and boxing and fighting and other things that I can now have a little watch of. So if you were to cut through the red tape and enjoy your life to the fullest, download Surfshark immediately, right now. And when you do, please use my code. That would be great. Thanks. Just click the link in the description below, go to surfshark.com/paingame, and you'll get 4 months extra of Surfshark added onto your deal for free. I've given you a lot of content over the years, lads, but just consider this is brotherhood stuff. Do you know what I mean? We got to look after each other in these times. And it's less than the price of a coffee a month, lads. So get it done. It's an easy win and you'll enjoy it. Big love to the greatness of Surfshark. But for now, enjoy the video. So as you know, Moses Atoma had a big test on the weekend. A big test is a fair statement in terms of his biggest test so far. Jermaine Franklin coming into this was 24-2, and the only 2 he lost. Very close decision to Dillian Whyte, and he put up a good fight against Anthony Joshua. And importantly, never been dropped, never been stopped. So for a 21-year-old kid like Moses to go in there with that level of experience, the dream scenario is you get rounds in. And I don't mean rounds just beating the guy up. I don't think that was that's the dream. But he's going to give you different looks. He's going to be tricky, right? AJ found him slightly tricky. And you're going to learn. And that's what this fight was about, especially when he's been out of the ring a lot longer than he should be for his age. And just looking at his stats here, 79-inch reach, his massive wingspan, 6'4.5", 242 pounds of solid muscle, and he's only going to get bigger, by the way. By the time he's 25, you'd expect at least 10 to 15 pounds of solid muscle on him, if he wants to. You know, he might want to stay light on his feet, but he can grow into this weight and be even more dominant. And the thing that strikes me about Moses immediately is just how quick he is, how light on his feet he is. And I mean, he's just so explosive, and this is where people have compared him to Mike Tyson. His fighting style is not like Mike Tyson's, but he's extremely explosive, and he's light on his feet to get in and out. And the feints, I love those feints. And if you just watch that one more time, feint high, feint low, and he feints with his feet as well. Feint high, and then body shot. Very Usyk versus Fury, that. And obviously, Atoma being a southpaw, he's shaped up similarly to Usyk in that sense. And that reaction speed, man, like, it's just such a problem for everyone there. And he caught him on the way. And I mean, it's just his natural reflexes. And one thing I will say is, I think he got a bit excited. And he's 21, right? It's going to be hard to keep the dog on the leash, man. Like, if you're his coach, you got to really try and keep him calm. And I think he was going out to knock him out quick time here. And Jermaine really had to throw some stuff there, and he got caught on the way, and he was just getting picked apart so quickly, and again with the body shot. Got to give massive props to the shot variety. For me, for his age, it's really incredible to see someone who is a thinking fighter in there at that age. We see fighters who are in their prime who don't really think that much. It's all instinct. It's all the same shit over and over and over again. He is quite a creative lad, him, in setting up shots, in getting you to think it's going one way and then coming up with a different answer or completely. The one thing I will say is he relies a lot on his feet to get in and out of range. Oh, fucking hell, that jab is nasty. I mean, that jab, apparently he is a right-handed southpaw, so like by choice, I guess, or maybe it just fits his style more, but his strongest punch is his right hand, and yet that's his jab. So you're so fucked against this kid, because it's not like the jab's an easy time, you know what I mean? If that's his strongest hand. And he is cold, man. He's cold in there as well. I know you got a bit excited here. And that was so impressive. This was where in the first round you're like, this is a different level. This is, I mean, he's just picking him apart. He's having his way with him. How are you doing this at 21 years old against a guy who's that respected in this division? And look, I know you could debate AJ and where he is right now in his career, but he put on a really decent performance against AJ, and he showed you can't just go in there and just blitz him. But he's getting blitzed here. Immediately, it looked like he'd seen a fucking ghost. It looked like, look at him. That's the now you know what's up, mate. Now you know you're in there with the realist. This is the truth right here. Round 2, they're showing us now. And to be fair to Franklin, I mean, he had to weather this storm as best as he could, and he did good in terms of just being a tough, durable, older pro. But my God, that he shook that off. But that was a shot from hell. That backhand straight to the jaw, pitch perfect. And look at him just tapping away, just mixing it up. You really have to keep guessing with Moses. There's no like, I just got to worry about the jab, because he's got so much energy, and it is weird for a heavyweight to be able to throw. I mean, I don't know what the punch counter was. He threw so many shots that some were not there to hurt you, some were there to just keep you guessing, some were meant to hurt you. It's a constant, overwhelming feeling being on the receiving end of this guy. It must be fucking horrible, because guys that big aren't supposed to be that quick or that fit. It's unfair. They should call him the gift. He's so gifted. It's unbelievable. Nice little slip inside there, showing a bit of head movement, and then the uppercut. He was looking for the uppercut early, did sort of land it there, but not the way he did later in the fight. And it's just an onslaught, man. Round 3. Here, body shots, and you could see that definitely did something. And Franklin couldn't get his offense going at all here. And the reach advantage definitely, Moses made him pay with that reach. And that right hand puts him down. And credit to Jermaine Franklin for getting up, because that was on the temple, and a lot of the time they're the ones that really fuck the equilibrium, and you don't regain your balance very well after that. Beautiful punch placement. And that's the benefit of being a right-handed fighter fighting in southpaw, is like shots like that where they're just like they're gonna fucking hurt me. And Moses straight back to work here, trying to finish the job, but there was not a lot of time left. But even still, Franklin tries a Hail Mary, and Moses did well to slip that. The thing about Moses, his defense is a lot about his feet and being in and out of range, but he does seem to come in straight lines sometimes, which is obviously something where if you fight a guy who's got good feet also, he can, step closer to you and catch you potentially. They've got to be brave. They've got to be really brave. But being a heavyweight, especially as a young lad, he is going to get bigger. He is going to get heavier. And we've seen the likes of Alexander Usyk, who don't move as much as he used to, right? He started adapting his style to deal with the fact that he can't just rely on that raw athleticism as he gets older. Now, Moses is a while away from that in age, but in terms of size, I've seen him sweating a lot early. I've seen him breathing heavy early. The output was ferocious. It may pay for him as he gets a bit more experience to defensively use, his head movement, use his hands, not so much on in and out movement. Because if you're in and out, there's a time limit on that as a heavyweight. There really is. Usyk did it, but remember, Usyk's 220. This guy's 240 odd. He could be 250, 260 in time. That's a style that's going to need some fine tuning depending on how he grows. And that's where Ben Davidson's going to have to earn his money in sharpening up his hand defense and getting him slipping punches, which he did quite well there. I'm not criticizing it. But Jermaine Franklin has not got the athleticism that some of these cats in the heavyweight division have got, or the reach. He's just not able to make you pay super easy like some of these guys are. And look, this isn't a criticism. I think the fact that he can rely on his feet the way he can, he's a freak. But he was definitely getting a little tired in there early on, and he had to go, all right, I need to slow this down a bit. I need to be more patient here. And I think that showed great maturity. I think that showed a great ability to, on the fly, think in the fight, all right, I can't let my gas tank go here. I need to take my time with this guy. Because Jermaine Franklin needed breaking down slowly. He wasn't just going to put his chin on a plate for you. He's just too clever for that. All right, we're out for round 4 here. and that right hand lands. He actually threw the backhand first and then came with the right hand after. And that's the sort of sneaky shit Moses can do. And he's looking for the uppercut again there. Didn't quite land it. And he's just out of range there. And you can see he's kind of getting it. I want to check that facial expression there. He did. He got caught on a jab there. And he stumbled. His face definitely tells a story here. He's like, now I'm fucking pissed. Now I'm pissed. But there's a bit of a smile of it, like, all right, now I'm switched on. What I would like to have seen from Jermaine Franklin here, you see that he's not really believing, is he? The belief's been taken out of him in 3 fucking rounds. We're only in round 4, and he's already sort of mentally beaten. He's like, I can't be throwing fucking going up high and trading with this killer. So he threw that body shot, but it wasn't enough. And this is the thing about this fight, is it was a good learning fight, but you need someone who's far more threatening to really find out more about where the defense is from Moses, in my opinion. Jermaine is wary, man. He's so wary of everything that Moses is doing. Just so reactive, and the jab lands there. Jermaine circles out. He's got him up against the corner here. I do like that as well. Sometimes on the front foot, Moses will throw like a short jab that usually fighters will then just use to set up or to blind you with the backhand. He'll do the short jab so you anticipate the backhand, and then he'll hit you with the real jab. It's clever stuff. Moses in round 5 obviously smelled blood. He hits him with the right hand there, and he's putting more into the punches. He's trying to connect with something serious. Double jab backhand. And Franklin's in retreat mode. He's in survival mode. He's not offering anything back here. And it speaks volumes that you could do that to this guy, because he's tough. And you just you reduced him to a shell of himself there. That right hand didn't land. And I must admit, defensively, nice head work. The head movement of Moses is quick, especially for round 5. Yeah, you know, he's getting a bit tired. He's warming into the fight. But my God, he keeps his hands low. He brings his left hand up more, but like, he takes risks, and I fucking love it. I don't get me wrong, this isn't a complaint, because when I was watching this on Saturday night, I thought to myself, it's rare now in boxing where you think, oh, I'm watching some high-level shit here. This guy is top level here. And don't get me wrong, I love a scrap. I love watching a normal scrap. But when I'm watching him, I feel like I'm excited to see what is he going to do next. And really, how many fighters can make you feel that way? How many fighters are special? This kid is special. And I believe this is where he sets up the uppercut. Double jab. And he's very sneaky in the way he disguised that. So you see here the way he disguises this shot, right? He's got his shoulder, and he's got, I've got this fucking bomb waiting for you, son. And the way he comes up with it, oh, what a photograph that is, man. Because he just turns his whole fucking body in with it. And reveals his big surprise for Jermaine Franklin. Surprise, motherfucker! What a devastating shot. And it's the ones you don't see. Like he said after the fight, maybe he was loading up early on. He started thinking smart. And that is how he's going to win all of his fights. If he thinks smart, because he doesn't have to load up. You're so quick and so big. Just connecting is going to make them fucking fly down. And let's see this in an instant replay. Bosh! And a little jab on the way down. My God, that was spectacular. I compare him to AJ and Fury because they're the big heavyweights that we've watched for years. It isn't even fair on him, really. They're at the end of their career. They've done great things, but it's because I want him to do great things. But I think mentally, he seems better than them as well for this journey that he's about to go on. And I don't mean that as a knock on them, because look, they've both done well mentally, right? Even though Fury's been up and down, he's pulled himself up, right? Which I can't take away from him, even if I think he's a prick. And I think the way AJ's carried himself is the ultimate champion for British boxing. Right? He's been the best representative we could hope for. But what I mean more so about Moses is he's kind of dark and like in a like just cold, and not like, he's not emotional. He seems to have this thing about him where like he needs to let the demons out. I like the fact that he's not up and down. And even though that may not translate well in terms of money potentially, like AJ was just like the perfect spokesman or whatever, and Fury was such a clown. Him being level like that and just being quite a chill character on the journey he's about to go on, when there's going to be all the arse kissers, and I hope he can handle that, it will serve him well. I think he's made for this shit. And look, there's been a lot of questions immediately of who next, you know, who should he fight next? In the Pain Game group chat, he beats Usyk, someone said, right? I think that's disrespectful to Usyk right now. Did he look amazing? Absolutely. And would he give Usyk trouble? Fuck yeah. He'd give anyone trouble. This guy's a phenom, but we've not seen anything thrown back at him yet. We've not seen elite level movement. And who really has elite level movement in the heavyweight division? Really, it's Usyk. Usyk is the one who would give him problems, right? As well. Let's not act like Usyk's just some dude now. He's one of the GOATs. And when you look at Moses Atoma in those early rounds, and he is, you know, making the little mistakes here and there and relying on his footwork a lot, and he's exhausting himself a little bit. These are things that Alexander Usyk has just, he's a black belt. So to say go in there and just do this to Alexander Usyk when Alexander Usyk's defense is the best in boxing. Now, does that mean that if Moses Atoma closes the distance on him at light speed like he can do, it couldn't undo that defense? Of course he couldn't hurt anyone. And Usyk is older, right? If this was Usyk against AJ1, for me, that was the best version of Usyk personally. I know a lot of other people prefer the other version when he sits down on his punches more. I think a mover version of Usyk is the one that would be the hardest fight for a Moses, because he does things that Moses does even better than Moses. Moses is going to do everything better than everyone that he fights, pretty much already. You're not going to be bigger, stronger, quicker. Like, hardly anyone's going to have any attributes. It's actually a skillful light guy who he's going to have the only trouble with. If you're a big, strong guy, he's running through you because you're just never going to cut it. But I think it's an interesting debate, and it's kind of one I don't want to say and I do want to say, because on the one hand, if Usyk could beat this kid, it would almost just make his legacy even more amazing. But I don't want Usyk to lose. Like, I love the guy, and I think he's been amazing for boxing, and he's fought everyone of his generation. This is the next generation and then some. He's 2 generations below Usyk. A 38, 39-year-old fighting a 21-year-old, like, it's a bad idea for Usyk, probably, just because those reflexes are so insane and he's so strong and he's so special. But if anyone could beat Moses, it would be Alexander Usyk. That's one thing I would say. But I mean, you have to admit, it's the fight, isn't it? He is special. And if I'm his coaches, don't get me wrong, I'd probably accept that fight's not going to happen, because Usyk, I think, logically will go, all right, I'll fight the winner of, maybe if Wardley beats Dubois, I'll fight Wardley, then I'll fight Tyson Fury, I'll ride off at the sunset and earn a load of money. In which case, you probably look at who's going to give you the best education next, who's going to give you a bit more offensively, a bit tougher. I'd be looking at Joseph Parker, personally. I think Joseph Parker is a top-level heavyweight. He's just fought for a world title. You know, if you go in there and make him look average, that you're again proving a lot, but also he's going to give you things that you haven't seen before. I think they sparred, but you get the point. When it's a proper fight, and that'll be someone who I'd be looking at. But look, let me know what you think in the comments below. What level do you put Moses Atoma on now? Talent level, I rate him up there with Lennox Lewis. I rate him up there with all of them. I think he can be anything. I think if you watch Lennox Lewis at the same age, does he move like that? Does he fuck? And I really rate Lennox Lewis. But this kid moves like a cruiserweight. He's unbelievable. And he's going to go all the fucking way. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Hit the like button. Subscribe to The Pain Game. I'll see you on the next one.